you for having me. It's an amazing opportunity to be here. I'm Silke Zetzshe. I'm the commercial director of AudioStack. Just to give a little bit about myself, I'm based in London. I started my career actually at one of the big holding groups as a media agency, doing the digital, when back in the day it wasn't very big at all. And then I moved into commercial innovation roles around connected TV, but also more recently dynamic creative or personalization and audio. And now I am at AudioStack, putting the commercial strategy together for all our big strategic global partnership as AudioStack as an AI audio production infrastructure.
That's wonderful.
We have been talking about AI, very much, throughout this week. So I am Don Sklenka. That is my dog, Champy. And I'm the SVP of AI Personalization at Claritas. And similarly, I was agency side for a long time. Came from one of the major holdcos, and now coming tech side. It's really been quite an experience, as I also was in the DCO space too. So Silke and I kind of coming together has been one of those things where the universe aligns and the stars all kind of align in a very quick fashion. Asked her to join me on stage, and she's been willing and ready to do that. So here we are today. So happy to get this conversation going. Come to the table and say, we think that this is what's going to work. We think that this is the content that this type of person wants. AI, at the end of the day, is very binary and should be very binary, with the sense that it will, or AI should, look at everything as a data point, not in a subjective fashion. So at its core, AI should not have any subjectivity. But what we're starting to see in the industry is human intervention within that AI modeling and the AI decision-making process, and that's where you're starting to see the subjectivity as part of it. So as Claritas, our job in the industry is to optimize creative in real time, leveraging AI. Silke will talk also about AudioStack and what their role is in this industry. But from an AI perspective, we want to make sure that the data that comes into our modeling and the data that comes into our creative data sets and all the data signals and the metadata, everything that comes in becomes binary, becomes 0, 1, 0, 1 versus someone's names, it's blue, red, whatever that may be. And so we do this in a process that's called one-hot encoding. So all the data signals that comes in, it goes through what is essentially a filter, so that the AI is not seeing any of those subjectivities as it makes those decisions. So every aspect and every element of the creative process, when we think about optimization, every element of those creative pieces and parts are 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. And that's a key place to start in this AI world, is to make sure that the data that's coming in is cleaned, and it's not subjective, and it's not coming from human-generated thought and ideology, because that is where I think things are starting to get a little messy and a little murky and a little hung up on. So,
to your point around the data, we built in guardrails within our mechanism and our technology to ensure that there is diversity, but also that, for example, things like hate speech from a content creation, as we are creating content, are, for example, not been let in, as well as gender stereotyping, for example. But I also want to talk about, as your question was around, how do we make sure diversity and inclusivity, and obviously guardrails and making sure that the data, as Don was saying, is the highest quality level of data, is a product in an internal perspective. But also I find it really interesting, how do we ensure that the people that come to the business are of diverse background? I think it's no one's illusion that, particularly when it comes to engineering roles, it's largely dominated by white males, which is not necessarily a bad situation, but it's like, if we don't ensure that there is more diversity in those roles, then I think we are not able to deliver different experience, different types of perceptions. And I think when something gets built, you need to have that to ensure that. So I think in AudioStack, that's where we really want to focus on, as well as making sure that the technology is secure by design. Gartner actually just voted AudioStack as one of the AI audio production technologies that ensures that. So no hate speech, no gender stereotyping, but also that the people working on the product are of diverse background and can put their worldview into the product as well.
It's globally inclusive. It has to be some level of a global governance and a global framework that a lot of different people of differing opinions and different technologies and different industries can come together and help set those guardrails. Because again, if everyone is saying the same thing, we just won't progress.
Absolutely. And just to add to that, I think it's really important that we understand we're never finished. Like, it's always the journey that we have to continue to progress on. So I think it's not like we start here and we finish here. I think there will always be, because it will never be 100% perfect, but we can start, to your point, of working with and collaborating.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of AI is that it's always evolving. Like, it's the idea of it in general is that machine learning, it's getting better. It's always constantly evolving, and every day something is getting better, optimizing and getting better, and learning what didn't work and what did work and get better. So I think as humans, we also need to do the same thing. Like, we also need to constantly evolve and get better and better. Look what didn't work, why didn't it work, and then how do we improve it and make it, constantly make it better.